Hello, hello. Let me turn my light on. Sir David the Bard. Yes, I'm doing another video. I need to get a life, you know what I'm saying? I love my lazy boy. Anyway, a couple of things. I want to do a video on women. And most of you have just turned off your camera, computer. I don't want to hear him talk about women. Let me do some business first. I had the sweetest thing today, and I'm not going to name names because I know people will get excommunicated from the Mormon Church if anybody knows they're being kind to the Bard. I had a PayPal donation today from a sweet little person. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not even going to say where she came from. But her beginning of her name is S, like in Sam. Sam is not her name. I sincerely want to say thank you. I believe heavily that when somebody goes above and beyond to help somebody and to put their money where their thoughts are and help me a little bit, I appreciate it. And I want to say that. And I also want to say that if you find any of my videos entertaining, educational, excuse me, you know I always do that, then put $1 into my PayPal. I've told you over and over, I can't see your comments anymore. I can't see. But when I hear the little bell ring that goes, ooh, you got $1, I go, God, somebody out there is interested. Somebody out there may agree with me. Somebody out there has been entertained. And I haven't wasted my life and wasted my time. I tried to do videos based on principles of life. Maybe some of the stories I tell are interesting. Maybe somebody likes my personality. None of my ex-wives do, but anyway. Subscribe, that helps me. Because YouTube will go, hey, we're going to give him money to put advertising. Again, I don't know all this shit, but I'm learning. And that's the important thing about life, learning. Here's the video that I want to do today. I want to talk about women, girls, the female sex. I have been married 6 times, so I kind of have an array of personalities of females that think similar, and of course they're all individual and different. I've had the opportunity to be married as long as 18 years to my current wife, sweet wife, Mercy. She's from the Philippines, and oh my goodness, the Filipino girls, they know how to take care of a man. Anyway, I've also married a couple of mental patients. Now, when you're desperate, like I've been, when nobody wants to be around you, like I've been, when people go, you're mentally ill, I don't like you, which I've been. When I cast my net out looking for companions, it scoops up a lot of mental patients, and I had low self-esteem. I also thought, well, maybe if I, net this particular female, I can help her. I can help her learn to be normal. Of course, you got the blind leading the blind there. Oh my gosh, there goes my phone. Ooh. Anyway, I want to talk about what I've observed about females. And let me start off by saying right away, I think they're the superior sex. Now, I know the men just threw their camera and computer over the balcony and into the pond. It's my experience. It's my experience. It may not be true, and it may not be what you think. It's what I think, my experience. I really think the female gender is the superior race. Now, men, we're stronger, especially in the upper body, and we can do construction and lift shit up and drive bus, and you know, we're pretty hefty with muscles in the upper body. I'm going to tell you something. In the lower body, the legs, I would rather have a man trying to crush me with his legs than a woman. I really believe most women are stronger in the legs than men are. I really think that their bodies, even though, you know, I'm a man and you know, I'm sexually attracted to women, and I can't put that aside. That's part of me and my mind and my heart and my body and other parts of my body. Anyway, women's bodies, I think, are generally stronger than men. I have said and witnessed women, when they have been motivated, like a child stuck underneath a car. It's not unheard of. Now, is it common? No. But it's not unheard of that a woman can actually pick that side of the car up to get her child out. I don't know how they do that. I know that women can stand more pain than men. If I stub my toe, I really need to think I'm in intensive care competition. I need to go to the hospital, and my little toe got hurt. Women are not like that. The most amazing thing in 75 years that I have seen and experienced is the birth of my children. Now, to a man, there's many sides of a birth of a child. Obviously, it's our child, and we're excited that a baby is going to be born. That's a piece of the way a man thinks. The other thing that's a piece is I'm the only one that gets to see her vagina. I don't think I like the doctor looking at her vagina. That's a piece of a man. Another piece is, and I have to be careful because it's a new world. The other piece of me, and maybe other men, is, wow, I liked that little tight vagina. Oh my God, there's a head coming out of it. Is it going to be ruined? Am I ever going to be able to not fall in? Do I have to strap a 2x4 on my butt so I don't fall in? That's another piece of a man. Another piece is this is my companion, my mate. I love her, and she is screaming and yelling in pain, more pain than I could ever experience or understand, and I feel sorry and compassionate and hopeful that her pain would be alleviated, that it would stop. That's another piece. Another piece of a man basically is this human being that just came out of her looks a little wrinkly. He or she, the baby, has wrinkly skin and white stuff all over it and maybe some blood, whatever. And father looks at that and goes, criminy, you know, that doesn't even look like a baby. And then we see their head. When a baby is born, there's a soft spot in their head, so, and they're coming through the canal, their head can be compressed a little bit to get out. Well, when you have a baby that has a head that looks like a football, you're starting to go, as a father, shit, is this going to be special ed? Is he or she going to look like that all the way through school? And if they do, the kids are going to give him a hard time. That's another piece. Another piece of a father's view of the strength of what she just went through, giving birth to a live container that now contains a human being in it, is the money. Now, we don't talk about that very much, but you know, we're not stupid. We want the best for our wives and our children, but damn, $8 to $12 or $15 or $20,000, that's a lot of money for a baby. You know, maybe you could get a discounted baby. Maybe you could adopt one cheaper. That's a piece of a man. I'm going to have to work my ass off to pay these doctors and these nurses in this hospital for all the services that they did to make sure my wife and my baby is safe. Now, I don't know what it is, again, about women. They're a very different breed than men. The gender is very, very different. I can't tell you how many times I've witnessed the birth of my children, and my wife is just screaming and yelling, and you know, when she's squeezing my hand, there's no blood in my hand, and I'm trying to, you know, encourage her, and I'm just panicked. You know, this is a human being that is being more than waterboarded. They're being more than tortured. That really hurts. I can't even imagine a baby coming out of my penis. Jeez. My butt tightens right up as soon as I say that. So, mentally, they're stronger. Physically, overall, now not in every area of their body, but overall, they're stronger. They live longer. Why? Because they're a superior gender and a superior race. I'm going to go back to the amazing thing. After they've gone through all this pain, all this suffering, and I think embarrassment, you know, when you got your vagina wide open and the nurses are all there and the doctor's there with a bird's eye view, and maybe your husband's there. It's kind of a community show. I think that's a little, I don't know, humiliating it would be to me, embarrassing would be to me, and certainly fearful. If I was a female and I was normal and I looked at my vagina and it was, you know, tight and young and whatever, and I start to think, God, an 8-pound baby with its head is going to come out of that little hole, I'd be scared. I go, God, that scares me. It scares me a lot. They get over that fear. And I can't tell you how many times the baby's been born and her vagina is closing up again, and the doctor, hopefully she hasn't had an episiotomy. That's a bitch, that maybe the skin was tearing because the baby was too big and the hole was too small, and the perineum between the vagina and the rectum, the skin can be torn. Before it gets torn, which is very hard to repair, the doctor will cut it. It's called an episiotomy. He'll cut, you know, 1 inch, hopefully not 2 inches. Oh, my butt's tightening up again. And the baby comes through, and then the doctor will sew up the episiotomy. Well, I don't know. If I had stitches in my crotch after the baby's born, that's going to be a little uncomfortable. It's going to be a lot uncomfortable. So a lot of females will go to what they call a sitz bath. A sitz bath is those stitches sitting in the water. As she sits in the water, that area starts to heal faster. And they use, well, we used to call it catgut. So the stitches dissolve. And you don't have to go back to the doctor and put your feet in the stirrups and then he takes the stitches out. You don't have to do that. But that's a little uncomfortable. Now, the other amazing thing that I'm still trying to get to is that it's only been, whatever, 5 or 10 minutes that the baby has come out. She's gone through that whole process. Unbelievable pain, suffering, being out of her mind, and trying to push that baby out and give birth to a life container for a baby. Now, the doctor usually will put the baby right to the mom's chest, and many times right to the breast, because the baby can't do much at all. A baby can suck. I don't know why God made it that way. That's a natural instinct of a baby. They suck so they can get food. They breathe, which they can get air. Other than that, all they do is shit and piss for many months. Anyway, the mom is holding that baby minutes after that terrible suffering, and she is so happy, so joyous, so satisfied, so pleased with this new life that's been put in her arms. And I have to tell the truth, you know, the bard and the cockroach, I have had many wives say to me, even at that time, I'd love to have another baby. If that thing had come out of my penis and I had suffered that much, I would say, no. No more babies are coming out of that little hole. No way. And I'm not going to suffer the way I've suffered. They're stronger, guys. I hate to tell you, but my experience is they're stronger. They heal faster. They heal better than a man. When I stub my little toe, it could be years, and the nail turns all black, and I go, oh my God, I've got gangrene. Women suffer with such dignity and might. I'm amazed. I'm jealous. I'm not going to be so jealous that I want to be transgender. Now, I have nothing against transgender people. Many times, I believe, the brain does not match the body. That's very possible and more likely than we think it is. But if I had a choice, you know, being a female or a male, being a female certainly is more powerful. To be able to grow a human container inside your uterus, stomach, whatever, is amazing. Totally amazing. And all the time the little baby is growing, they have to pee all the time because the baby is crowding their bladder, and they're peeing for the baby too. That cleansing has to go on, and they have to be many times constipated. I've only been constipated like 4 times in my whole life. I'd rather be dead. Trying to give birth to a poo-poo, no. The bard goes, no. But these beautiful young creatures, moms going, well, I don't mind being that constipated. I'm practicing to push a baby out. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They get hungry for different things. Sometimes their body is low on magnesium or vitamin B12 or vitamin A, and they want ice cream or they want a salad. Their bodies tell them you're short on these chemicals, and the baby is going, hey, more. So they have, we see it as a little tendency to want to eat stupid shit, and a lot of it. That's normal. That's normal. Now, also, the female has so many more chemicals, hormones, that intermix with each other, and as they especially get their period and go through a menstrual cycle, they can be moody, they can cry easily, and they can be oppositional, they can be angry. Men just kind of stand back and go, holy shit, you know, she's gone crazy. Well, she hasn't gone crazy. The hormones are working on her brain and her heart and her body. She gets tired. Of course, if you're carrying 7 or 8 pound baby and you're trying to stoop and bend and walk up steps, good Lord, you're going to be tired. You're going to sleep more. Now, the other thing that females have to go through is when they're young, they have these little boobs that are so cute. You know, they have just a certain color, and they're perky, and they're so beautifully attractive. And we men go, and, you know, anyway, we men. Now, these cute little boobs that they've had their whole life, that they see as part of their being, personality, it's just their container, but they start to think it's part of them. They change. Now, people don't tell you all this all the time. The aura that is around the sticking out of the nipple changes color. It used to be nice and pink and perky and whatever. It turns kind of a piano brown. I'm looking at my piano. Yeah. They change. And the little nipple that basically they will wear a bra and make sure that you can't see their nipples. They don't go in like they used to. They stick out. Because Miss Baby and Mr. Baby go, hey, that's the cafeteria door. Open that door. So here she's been her whole life with these beautiful little breasts, and suddenly now they're a cafeteria. And the door has a different color, and there's people peeking out the door, and Mr. and Mrs. Baby latch onto that. Now, they're the stronger gender. If you grab my boob, the nipple, I go crazy. I can't stand it. I don't know. I think most men are that way. Maybe not. But it hurts. It tickles. It's really uncomfortable. If you put a baby's mouth on there, even if it doesn't have teeth yet, teeth is a whole new story. But a baby's mouth on there, just sucking the crap out of it, that would be really uncomfortable for me. I'd probably slap that baby and go get a bottle. Mr. Nipple is out of business. They suffer that. Now, if they're going to breastfeed a child, again, their bodies are amazing. Yeah, it's neat to have an erection, and yeah, it's neat to spill the sperm out, but it's nothing complex like these little creatures. So now, if she is breastfeeding, pretty soon you'd be sitting, sugars are high, pretty soon you'll be sitting in the living room, and the baby will cry in the bedroom, and the man goes, just turn the TV up. I don't want to hear that shit, turn the TV up. The woman goes, no, no. And her breasts start leaking milk. And you look over and go, what the hell, who turned the faucet on? That baby crying automatically triggers the brain and the intellect of the female, and her body goes, they're hungry. Open the cafeteria, and some of the milk in the cafeteria is going to leak out. And now it's all over her bra, it could be on the blanket, and she's going, shit. You know, she's cleaning up all the time because of that damn baby. The man just turns the TV up and give me another beer, give me another Coke. So now, she could be shopping, she could be at church, she could be in a community center, and when the baby starts crying, damn, Here comes the milk out of the cafeteria. She has to suffer that. She has to suffer that. I'm going to take a little bit of a break and tell you, I was a single dad at one time. I had custody of 5 of my children, and one was 8 months old, and the others were all under 6 or 7, maybe 8. I've worked construction. I've worked driving bus. I have worked and worked and worked my whole life, getting up at 5 or 6 in the morning, being gone till 6 or 7 at night, laying on skyscrapers. We don't use that word, a high-rise in Los Angeles. I've worked my ass off, drilling into concrete, drilling into solid steel clips, hour after hour after hour. Now, being a mom, dad, having custody of those children was the hardest job I ever had. Believe it or not, I'm not Ripley, believe it or not, I would rather lay on a construction high-rise steel building on concrete and drill with a drill hammer all damn day than to take care of 5 children. How these women do it is totally beyond me. I had the daycare center call me, Stephen, my son Stephen. I had to put my kids in daycare to work. A single dad, but single moms are everywhere. They're everywhere. I was in Los Angeles and an hour and a half away from the daycare center, and the daycare center called me and said, Stephen is shitting his pants again. We need to train Stephen or don't bring him here. What am I going to do? I'll tell you what I did. You're going to die. You're going to die. I had my baby, Dan. He was 8 or 9 months old. And there were days that I couldn't get a babysitter. My family shunned me because I was Mormon and I'd left the church. And my mom wouldn't help. I called her. My sister would not help. I called her. I called the Relief Society president of my local ward, and she basically said, fuck you. Give the children back to their mother. You have no business having children in your custody. Well, the judge didn't feel that way. And I'm bringing that up because I couldn't get a babysitter. Well, I had a little Chevette car, and it had a back hatch to it. When you opened it up, it didn't have a trunk. It had a back hatch. I took the baby, Dan. He's probably going to see this video and sue me, but I'm judgment proof. I don't care. Most of my children have sued me. Anyway, Dan, get in line. I took the baby to my construction site. Now, a lot of times when you're working construction in a large city, you can't park very near the site. I was lucky. I found an area that I could look down off of 15, 20-story building and see my car. I put the baby in the back hatch of the car. I opened the back hatch. It was California, so the weather is always good. And the baby was laying there, and he couldn't, at that age, get his own bottle. When I went up to work, I would put 1 or 2 bottles back in the back hatch because I knew he could crawl over and get a bottle. And then on my breaks, I would go down and change his diaper and make sure he was okay. And I would often look off of the high-rise to make sure he was okay. I was supervising him from 20 stories up. I don't think a lot of mothers would have done that. That's all I could do. That's all I could do. One night, my little one, I think it was Rachel, I was sleeping. I used to have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive to LA an hour and a half to work, and then an hour and a half back. and I would have to come home, cook supper, get the kids baths, get them in bed, try to have some kind of family order. It was the worst job I ever had in my whole life. How these single moms do that, we don't understand, and we don't give credit in this society for all the things that superior female race, gender can do. Anyway, it was the middle of the night. I only get 5-6 hours of sleep, and Rachel starts crying. And she was, I don't remember, 4, 5, 6. And I had a waterbed in those days, and I brought her in and put her in bed, and I thought the heat of the waterbed and the motion would calm a child and she'd go to sleep. She didn't. She didn't. And she was complaining that her pee-pee hurt. God dang, what am I going to do with a little daughter and her pee-pee hurts? Well, shit. I guess I take her to the hospital. So I did. I took her to the hospital in the middle of the night, and they looked at her and said she has a urinary tract infection, and they gave her, I think, penicillin, and she came home, and I put her in bed, her bed, and I went back to my bed. I didn't lay in my bed more than 20 minutes, and the damn alarm went off for me to get up, get those children dressed, get them ready for school, get their lunches, get in my car, and drive to work, drop the others off at the daycare center. It was a living hell for me. I was proud to have my children. I was proud that the judge said I was the better parent. I was proud of my children and me. I never worked so damn hard in my life. We had Christmas, we had Easter, Thanksgiving, and again, being a father and not being a cook and trying to manage the pans in the kitchen and washing pans and kids fighting and me breaking shit up, and this one was throwing up, this one has a temperature, this one, you know, has a sore throat. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well, I'm not going to go into all the details about being a single mom, but I'm going to tell you, these eyes and these ears, this brain and this heart believes the female gender is superior. They're stronger, they live longer, they're more organized, and they're more capable of adapting to life. And raising children, unbelievable differences. I used to think I could raise a child as good as a female. I believed that for many, many decades. Now I'm old. I don't believe it anymore. Children do, basically, belong with their mom. Now, if the mom is an alcoholic, a drug addict, an idiot, a fool, then of course the father has to stand in. But I'm telling you on my video and my experience in life that children need a mom. And I'll tell you something else. I've been divorced 5 times. And when children are given a choice, and they're capable of making a choice. Excuse me, do you want to live with your mom or do you want to live with your dad? 90% of the time, the children say, I'm going with mom. They know dad's an idiot. Dad, you know, will leave the diaper on until it falls off with BM and pee-pee in it. Mom will take your diaper off when it's wet, put a little powder on you, put it on, you're comfortable. Big difference between the genders. Yeah, a man can raise children and do a good job. There's some men that can do that. Most can't. Most get a bargain. When you got to pay, this is a video in 2023 it'll be old someday, but I'm using numbers of 2023. If a man has to pay $500, $600, $700 a month child support, it's a bargain. I used to think it was a ripoff, an absolute ripoff. I'm going, she's sleeping with that guy, and that guy is sitting in my chair, watching my TV, playing with my children, pretending he's their father, and I gotta send that damn money on to that bitch. Well, it's a bargain, guys. It's a bargain. You can't get daycare for $700 a month. I used to run daycare centers years and years ago. And again, 2023 numbers, you can't get daycare for under $125, $150 a week per child. Per child. How these moms work, these menial jobs with low benefits and income, and pay for child care and food and raise those children, they're a genius. The female gender, I think, was put on the earth to not only give birth and substance, ability to take care of other people, children especially, but they're far superior to the man. Yeah, the man can screw everything that moves, and usually does. Yeah, he can lift heavy shit and take the trash out and mow the lawn, etc. But you females are superior. I'm sorry, the men are never going to put $1 now in my PayPal ever again. But I have to tell the truth. Been there, done that. This ain't my first rodeo. I've had 14 children, 5 wives, 6 wives, now I'm still married to Mercy, 18 years. I've learned. They are the superior race. We don't respect them enough. Yeah, their moods can be unpredictable. Yeah, they can whine and make complaints, and they're always trying to make us better. We're perfect as men and husbands, but they don't see it that way. They're encouraging us to take a damn bath, shave, eat right. Don't do that, it's dangerous. They are the superior species, and without them, we'd be shit. We would be probably non-existent, because there's nobody that wants a baby in their penis and doesn't want to suffer like that, and then doesn't want to feed it with the boobs and take care of it and change it and raise it and then put it on the little poo-poo toilet and then empty the poo-poo toilet. Men are, we're not into that shit, if you know what I mean. So, let me summarize and stop. My experience has been that the female gender is superior. They live longer, they're stronger, their bodies are much more adaptable, their bodies can do everything. I've had enough wives to know that there's been, not on a lot of times, a few occasions that sexually, and I'm not going to name Janet, that I have reached an ecstasy of sexual pleasure being one with a woman, coming together and going into another world. Their bodies are fabulous. They can do shit that, if we can just hold our penis and not hit the toilet seat, we're heroes. These girls and women are fabulous. Their vaginas can do a lot of different things that we can't do. They bring us unbelievable pleasure, and they're a gender that without them we probably wouldn't exist. I think God made Eve, according to the Bible, as a help mate to Adam. And when they said in the Mormon temple, is it good for man to be alone? God said, no, it is not good for man to be alone. I think God knew what he was doing. It is not good for man to be alone. Men who are not married die much earlier than men who are married. I want to compliment the women that have been in my life. They haven't been perfect. I was. Put another $1 in the PayPal, will you? I was perfect, and I have to compliment them. Giving birth, letting me have posterity and children, even though they don't talk to me. They all hate me. Screw them. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not running a damn popularity contest. I want to compliment all the wives I've been married to and thank them for the babies and the children that they had and the long, arduous hours that they spent in their youth life taking care of my children. I want to also compliment all the women of the world. I've been observational. I have a couple of master's degrees and a little bit of social work degree, and I know a little bit about other cultures. I've been to the Philippines, third world country. I'll do a video on the Philippines here in the next few days. Those little moms over there, they don't go to a doctor. They have no prenatal care at all. They don't have vitamins to help the baby develop properly. They don't have access, basically, to sanitary napkins and things that women need because their vaginas are leaking and discharging and you know, trying to protect the baby and all the things that vaginas do. These poor little moms in the Philippines and third world countries, and probably most births in the world today, the baby just starts coming. They don't call an ambulance. They don't have ambulances, basically. They don't tell the dad, let's get in the car and get to the hospital like the Americans do. They don't have a car. You can't go to a hospital in the Philippines unless you pay in advance, not after the treatment, in advance. They don't have that money. They can't do that. So, what do? If you're going to have a baby in the Philippines and you're a female, I hate to say it, but it's true. They just squat down and push that baby out. They don't have any anesthetic. They don't have an anesthesiologist. They don't have a doctor that can do an episiotomy if they have to have one. Their skin just tears. And the baby and the afterbirth and all of the things, the baby's house, condo, comes out of them. They have to cut the umbilical cord and they have to then breastfeed the baby because they don't have bottles. They don't even have clean water. You can't use Infamil in a third world country. Now, let me end this by saying this. When we men are attracted, which is, I think, the way God made it. Our eyes, when we see a female, we see something desirable. And then we wish we had X-ray vision, that we could see, you know, the sweet spot of a woman. It's just the way we are. That's the way we're created. When she's young, whatever, 20 up to 38, 40 years old, they're very attractive, very beautiful. Their bodies are sweet and desirable. Now, I'm not saying that after you're 40, you're not going to be desirable. Please, don't read that into what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. The principle that I'm talking about is the sacrifice that these beautiful young creatures make to have my children and your children. Pretty soon after one baby's not too bad, but after 2 babies, they have a stomach like the bard. It hangs over. And they don't want to go to the pool anymore because their bathing suit looks like shit. They've given birth to a couple of kids, and now their little tummy hangs over. And they don't want to go to the pool because they have stretch marks. The baby stretched their skin so much that it tore parts of the inside and inside of the skin, having cuts. And they think they look like shit. I don't think so. I think they're not as attractive, but damn, look what they've been through a war. A veteran of babies and birth has been in a damn war. They're a veteran of having babies. So they have their skin scarred. They have their stomach hanging over. And they always say to the husband, is my butt bigger than her butt? And as a husband, here's the right answer. No, you're just skinny and tight and attractive. She's a slob. She's a pig. That's the right answer. That's the right answer. Now, if her little tummy and stretch marks are enough humiliation, the little tiny boobs, cute little boobs that she used to have when she was young, now they're all piano brown, and now they're saggy. They're not up like they used to be. The cafeteria is closed, and the cafeteria needs a renovation. So now they have to have, bathing suits and bras that hold their boobs up and whatever. And then, add to that they always want to look attractive. A woman doesn't want to be a sex object, but she has a need to be attractive to other women and to men. And now she's getting, crow's feet or little wrinkles on her eyes, and some of them are starting to lose their hair, and they're worried about that. They take a shower, and the drain in the shower is full of hair, and they're going, God, am I going to be bald? Their hair will start like a man to turn gray, but we don't call that distinguished. In our society, we call her old, undesirable. They are superior. They are superior. And when you see a war veteran that has no arm, no leg, or is blind, or has had a head injury, do you say to yourself, a man, he sucks. He's not attractive anymore. He doesn't have an arm. He doesn't have a leg. Yeah, he's been in war, and he's been fighting for my freedom, and he sacrificed his body and his life for me. But fuck him, I'm not gonna think he's attractive. Well, to do that to a female or a wife, and I hate to say it, but I'm gonna agree with most women, men are pigs, men are dogs. As a woman ages a little bit, has the babies, the stretch marks, the saggy boobs, he starts to go, I need some fresh meat. I need to go and sow my oats. What a wonderful phrase. That means fuck everything that moves, have no discipline, have no integrity, have no honesty. I hate to say it, but men are dogs. Many men, when their wives have been in a battle, had all these children, raised all these children, sacrificed her body, her life, her career, her ambitions, her dreams. She's given that all up for this man. And the man will go, well, you're not as attractive as my secretary, she's 20, and she thinks I'm cool. She likes my gray hair and, you know, my three-piece suit, and she likes older men. Well, why do women that are young like older men? Because older men start to get some wisdom eventually, but not always. Anyway, to cheat, to lie, to steal, to be unfaithful. And I mean not just screwing somebody younger, probably more attractive and beautiful, but to desire, to wish, and to hope, and hold in our hearts as men and in our mind, God, I wish I wasn't with this old woman. I really like a 20-year-old. And to do that, I can't think of, again, an English word that is atrocious enough for a man to look at his mate who has sacrificed her whole life, her body, her soul, her mind, her spirit, for him and the family, and to just willfully walk off. Abandon is terrible, but have a piece on the side, or several pieces on the side, affairs. I just think that kind of a human being, I think that kind of a human being could possibly deserve being destroyed. I don't think that human does any good anywhere in this society. And of course, the young girls that get trapped with these older guys that go, hey, I've got money, I've got time, I'm going to buy you this, I buy you that, I pay for your rent, I do everything, all you got to do is open your legs up, wrap them around me, and go for it. I'm divorced, I don't have any child support, and they lie and lie and lie, and these poor young girls that are trying to make a life